ahead and start. This is a work session. I'd like to add a couple of items to the agenda. Item number 5 would be a tractor for the Public Works. And item number 6, talk about the netting for the rec department.
What's what?
The netting for the.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else have anything? Okay, item number 1's a budget public hearing. Anybody want to speak for or against? We're gonna cut yours. Is there a time limit? Nobody wants to speak, we're gonna move on to number 2. Rental of the old jail to Your Haven. Your Haven's got a problem with the building they have. Their leases ran out. They have run out of room. They have looked at the jail, old jail, the top part of it. We hadn't got any prices yet. Has she got back with you? She hadn't got back with me. And we just need to know if this is something y'all have any interest in.
Would they just be looking at the top part?
Just at the top part, the old administrative part.
Administrative part.
Yeah.
And I thought we was storing, where are they using storage at?
Are we not storing court records and stuff up there?
Don't know of any.
Do what now?
Court records.
Court records, ain't we using it for
No.
storage in somewhere?
Elections was using
The
it.
elections I think they still have a few batteries and stuff, but their stuff has been moved down to,
So there's nothing there.
there's several loads of stuff to go to the dump.
It's just, it's been used for a storage room when you didn't want to throw something away that needed thrown away.
That's where it got thrown to.
That's where it got thrown. It's the place where you make the stop before it's to the dump.
Okay.
How is the building, is it still, is it usable?
It's,
Without putting a lot of money in it?
There's gonna have to be some flooring done, the ceiling's gonna have to be redone.
Some paint.
Paint.
Are they
Well, let
covering
me
the
ask
cost
you
of all
this.
that?
What?
They gonna cover the cost of doing all that?
Well, we hadn't got that far yet.
Can we just double check with Amy, because I thought Amy was using that as storage at one time.
There's no records up there. We went through it the other
Okay,
day. We went
okay.
through it.
Okay.
We
Chairman
didn't-
and I went down there with them.
We didn't find anything.
Okay.
It was discussed at one time to clean it up and fix it up so that the departments would have some storage, and that's as far as it got.
Okay.
Where we're at right now is we just wanna know if there's any interest with the commission to do this.
I wouldn't mind, because we don't help them in any other way. And if they wanted to take on the project, renovate, doing what they needed to, and we lease it to them for $1 a year, with the understanding that sometime given a notice, if anybody ever offers us create something for that property, we'd be in no obligation to Your Haven at that time.
Yeah. And it might be, I don't know, we hadn't done the research yet. Don could probably tell you more about this than I do, that the opioid money, I don't know if it'd be an avenue to use any of that to fix it or,
Would we not need to rent it to them for fair market value, though?
we could.
That would be my only, because, we've allowed other entities to lease space or lease property from the county, and we've always charged
Going rate.
going rate. And
Good point.
I would.
What about if they renovate it and they do all, at the county don't have any
We
expense?
could work it
Yeah,
out.
I think
And
maybe
then
I think if they wanted to put up money up front to renovate it, maybe 6 months, and then it goes to fair market value.
Yeah, I'd say some
You
type
know.
of agreement where as long as they're doing the renovations and then once the renovations are done to move in, once they move in, then
Cause I
the
think,
rental.
and the chairman probably knows more, I think it needs some work, you know,
I
the
never have
roof,
been
I
in
think,
there,
was
so.
leaking, so
Yeah.
it's gonna cost some money, and that's why I was thinking if they pay to renovate it, you know,
Yeah.
and the county don't have any expenditures, it would be a plus,
Or if we're able to use opioid money to
Yeah.
renovate, then
yeah.
we
Yeah.
can work out the agreement that way.
I just wanna
I
make sure
think
when
they
we're
need a
renting things to
place.
people as a county, or we're allowing them to use county space or property, that we're charging everybody fair market value
Yeah,
for whatever it
yeah.
is. so
And I
there's
agree on
Never
that.
any issues come
Good
arise in
point,
the future.
good point.
I agree on that, but we're also got the crisis response team, and we voted that in, and they're part of it, and I think we should help them if we can, especially if they're willing to.
Well, y'all do have interest in.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we needed to find out. Okay, item number 3 is vendor procedures.
I asked for this to be on here today. I wanted us to take a look at our vendor contract procedures, and this is against no one, but for the benefit of all of us. Towards the end of the year, I'd like to change these numbers, so that there doesn't ever appear that there is any improprieties with this board or our chairman in the last part of the year for excessive spendings, and therefore we protect the dollars, if you will, and no one can say.
You're talking about like what his purchasing authority is? Like, is that what you're
Yes,
talking about?
right, his
He just-
purchasing authority.
And it's a good thing, and I don't mind. I think when I took this job, Mr. Macklin told me I could basically do anything except buy a dump truck. I didn't know there'd been one ordered the week before that I had to pay for, that got ordered the last week of the previous administration, you know, that I got credit for.
I appreciate you saying that, sir.
And I understand this, you know. I don't need to go out and spend a lot of money the last 3 or 4 months.
What would you take it from what to what?
I was just looking, I don't know if you have a copy of those policies there. The third one down, it currently goes from 20,000 to 100.
No, I don't.
I was thinking that anything over 20,001 would need board approval.
Okay.
Okay.
And after 100,000, there are OCGA rules that take in place at that point in
He's
time.
putting the limit at 20,000 for.
Yes,
At $20,001, it has to be authorized by the board.
by the board.
Does that also go along with, I know there was another authorization where the chairman plus the department head,
That will take care of,
does that stay in place?
that stays in place, that's in from 500 to 20,000. That's chairman and department head.
Okay.
And anything over 20
And one
would be,
would come to the board.
would come to the board.
Yeah, I like that.
Avery, can you work on changing those numbers for us, or do we do that, well, in-house or whatever, which way it needs to be done?
Just something to look at the next couple of months.
Yes.
We can implement it at one of the regular meetings.
I don't know that we can read through it, some of those numbers probably need to be, yeah, on page 2, it says, for any bids equal to, less than or equal to 50, that needs to be 20,000. And for any bid exceeding, it says 50, it needs to be 20,001. So there are a few numbers throughout, the current procedures, current policy that needs to be changed. But by and large, it gets it down to 20,001 would be a board approval. All right.
So, we really do need to change the name of this to procurement procedures,
Okay,
would be the more proper term.
okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay. You can work on that, Avery?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 4 is Splosh 7 funds over projection. What this is Splosh 7, is split, I don't know how the cities get theirs, but the county gets, I think, 49.8%. Up to $21 million. It splits out amongst the cities and the county. The county's part being just a little bit shy of 50% to 21 million. But after the 21 million, the way this splosh reads, the county gets the entire proceeds of the rest of the time. So after there's been a total of 21 million collected on Splosh 7, the county gets all the remaining funds, which is gonna accumulate up with inflation and internet sales that may not have been realized at the time. The county's gonna get a windfall of, we think, 11 million, maybe a little more. And this is what we had planned to build the courthouse with. And some of the commissioners have, want to earmark this money for the courthouse. Is that legal?
Yes, we can allocate it towards the courthouse.
It's already in the splosh for county buildings.
Okay, it's already in, yeah.
It's already in the splosh. We just gotta have it set aside for that.
Yeah, it's not unusual to break spliced up into the
think-
different project
Would
categories.
we want to word it more of a government complex type
Yeah.
deal?
Yeah.
That way it's kind of, it encompasses everything.
But specifically mention administrative and courthouses, so we understand what complex is.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to be tied to just.
What is the years on that? The 26 or 27?
It's 25 and 26. It's
26? 27?
It will start maybe February, March of next year, collecting.
2 years.
2 years.
So that, you're saying the county portion will go to 100%, we think, around February of next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Item number 5. 5, 6 years ago, we bought a Mini X. You wanna come up, Terry? We gave $92,000 for it. They've offered us $75,000 back for it in trade. It's just come out, the warranty's just run out from all of it, and what Terry'd like to do is to buy another one, replace it with a new one, but inflation has hit that too, and that same tractor is $135,000. So, but if you look at it the proper way, we have used that tractor for 5, almost 6 years for $15,000. And it's just gonna cost us more to replace it, but at the end of that 6 years, it's gonna bring more than,
Same comparison.
yeah, same comparison.
How many hours you got on that tractor in 5?
23, 24, somewhere in there, 2,300, 2,400 hours.
That's fairly low then, I mean,
It is,
isn't it?
it is, to some degree, yeah.
But the big thing is we've been under warranty.
That's been an absolute blessing.
So you can get a new one for 5 and have 5-year warranty on it?
Exactly.
Okay.
And, you know, with the county tractors are a little different than the contractors' tractors.
Right.
Those rubber pads are on the highway, where they don't go on the highway with a contractor, and they wear out a lot quicker. So, we're just right before having to spend some money on it. And my suggestion is to go ahead, trade this one in, or either sell it, and let's get another new one that's trouble-free.
Okay.
Now, the 75, is that what they're offering?
Yes, sir. Kind of guaranteed buyback through a program that they have with the municipality.
That's a good deal.
I think CAT manufacturer encourages them to work with the municipalities a little differently than they do, private sector, so.
Is most of that cat dealing for the new location down there in Carrollton?
Sir,
Is most of those cat dealings that you're dealing with from the new location down there in Carrollton?
that's a Bobcat dealer.
Okay, so
Skid
different,
steers and
okay,
things of that nature. It's kind of a small
okay,
equipment.
All the cat stuff's still at Yancey's.
Yes, sir.
okay.
Six Flags.
So do we need to go ahead and give him the oral authorization to do this, or?
Yes,
Can we
and
do that?
we can go ahead and y'all authorize it, and then that you're gonna vote for it next meeting. Is that,
Yeah, we can ratify it at the next meeting.
You just kind of need a consensus.
We can
for
authorize it
everybody's-
today.
They ready to come bring
I'm good with it.
you the
About
new one?
30-day window, I'm about 2.5 weeks into that, so that was kind of the reason to come to the work session, is to bring it up is,
So they bring you one and take our old one back,
yes, sir,
and you gonna pay the difference?
yes, sir.
Oh, thank you.
and he's got the monies. The money's in Splosh, and he's also sold a bunch of the old equipment that he's got money there too.
That's a good
I'm,
deal.
I'm good with moving forward with
Yes.
that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Item number 6 is the netting around the, ball fields at the rec department.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Reason being is we have a pod of baseball fields that back up close to each other, and the problem we've been having was foul balls coming out and, from one field to the other, and the bleachers, how they sit there. So I've looked into a couple ways to try to solve this problem, and this, windscreen factory seems to be the way to go. It's a screen that covers from the bleacher area, from the dugouts on all 4 fields, and seemed to be a lot cheaper option. The price I got was, $47,000. The only other option was a fencing that would, have to extend up to about 40 foot, and, that come in at over 100,000. So, this is, what I felt like was the best case scenario. If anybody wants to, see any of it to try to get an idea, it's a little hard with black and white, but,
So does it go,
Like the nets that goes on tennis courts, basically what it is.
basically, it'll just, yeah, it's a netting system that'll run, over the concession stand from ball field to ball field to keep any foul balls to.
Catches it.
Cause the bleachers on this field is, you've got your back to the other field, so when foul balls come off, it's just, really for safety purposes, probably something I should've looked into quite a few years ago, but I knew there was gonna be a great expense for it, but, and I knew at one time, sooner or later, I'd have to work on the fencing that I have, so that was the reasoning to hold up, but that was just, like I said, about $100,000 difference in there, so I felt
Now, are we
like.
gonna still raise, we're gonna stop what we had discussed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had
And this will
originally,
replace that and at a lower cost.
right, at a
And
lower
it'll
cost.
do exactly the same thing.
Exactly, yeah.
You might have, this might have been what you were talking about, Daniel. In your budget what was in your budget as opposed to that?
It was,
Raising
it
fence
was
and
the
posts.
fencing.
Oh, that
and-
was
and
so your budget had $100,000 in it, and now we can do it for 40. Okay, I knew you had netting in your budget.
Right.
Okay,
That was the raising of the posts.
okay.
That was the raising of the posts and extending the fence and the backstops and all that, yeah. And this will do the same thing. Yeah.
And, this is something 2 weeks ago I could have passed, I could have okayed, and we could have had it done. But I knew you wanted to talk about the vendor policy, so we held back.
Well, thanks. Well,
Yes, sir.
I understand. You could still pass it.
Money saved.
You could still pass it.
So I was
I don't
looking
want
at that,
yeah.
you said this does take the place of building straight up?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, this will
Yeah,
work
'cause
better.
it's like a canopy that
Yeah.
completely
I
covers
seen where it kinda
everything.
feeds down to the concession stand area.
They got one in Panama City, Florida, where they hold the World Series and all for the Little League World Series. That's the first time I seen it.
So how do you get them out? You throw a kid up there in the net, let him,
Right, yeah, in the design, the one I seen in North Georgia, I'll talk to this company a little more in depth if, we get the approval here, but they've got it, fixed at the fields. I've seen where there's a low area that the balls come and feed down into a tube and bucket, so.
That's what I saw, John, up in Forsyth County at some of those ball fields that I grew up on playing on. There's a hole between each of the ball fields with a string that runs down. And you just put a hook, you just pull it, and it'll funnel all the balls right there. You just grab them when they fall through.
Right,
So-
seems like a,
Good idea.
hopefully a good system. I've only, like I said, I've only seen one in North Georgia, but, you know, I think it, dollar-wise, just a lot smarter way to go, I felt like, at this point.
when it's not ball season, you take that netting down?
No, it stays up, and, I wouldn't have a way of taking it down. It would be, I have some netting there across, from the backstops, to extend up a little higher. And, so far, I've got about 8 years out of that. So this, the structure, you know, I was wanting to make sure, hey, we're not looking at $50,000 every time, we need to replace a net, but the structure would already be there, so that it would only be the replacing of the net like I said, I've got 8 years so far out of what I have, and, it seems to be, real good and still in good shape. And I'm thinking, at this point, just the netting part's about, $10,000, so eventually 10, 15 years, hopefully down the line, it would need.
And that windscreen, I believe it's all like nylon. It's really,
Okay, durable for the
Yeah.
weather, okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be some, only local company that offers such a thing. I think it's a real good product.
Okay.
So y'all good with going ahead and letting him give a PO number for this before the vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, while you're up there, quick question. I drove by the other day, and there were, you and a couple others were cutting grass up there. Have y'all ever, or have you ever priced a batwing mower for the property up there?
I have not. We just started out with the zero turns, and they've, right now, just still using them. We bought a Skag quite a few, many years ago, and still using that. It's something, moving into the future, it'd probably be nice to look into. I just don't even know the price of one at this time.
Just shy of 90.
Just shy of 90?
Yeah.
I looked at one a second ago, and it was showing for a 96-inch for 55.
and don't they
Yeah.
make a bat wing
They-
on like a zero turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Fold
Kubota
over.
12, a
Yep.
12 foot.
Yep.
And it's just shy of 90.
This one's a Toro reason why I asked, they use them at the school, and they use Toros, and this one here is a 96-inch for 55. I was just curious, because it seems like that would be quicker cutting that much grass.
96 for,
55,000,
oh, okay.
96-inch cut, but
I'm actually, there's a couple of the mowers I have get up to about a 62-inch. And, we had purchased some just a couple of years ago. And, even the Skaggs being one of the, top of the line mowers, at one time, I think we paid about 15,000 for them. So, they seem to be, you know, the more we grow, of course, we may, but, actually, right now, it seems like a lot of things we have been pretty sufficient to do the job we got. Got 4 or 5 of them.
I heard just last evening, as a matter of fact, that Bremen School System over at the, junior high fields have purchased a robot lawnmower, like these robot vacuum cleaners in your house. It doesn't cut but about a foot, but they set the thing out there at night to cut the fields. And it goes home as having a problem going back to his house and recharging. He gets within about 2 feet and quits. But a robot lawnmower.
They also now make the robot that paints your football and baseball fields, but, I'll tell you something that's pretty funny. When, Mr. Ridley first took office, we had looked at maybe a company doing it, and I brought it before him, and, he asked me, do I need somebody to do the rest of my job? So we haven't discussed that anymore. I'll just do my job. And
I don't remember that.
That's a pretty good one.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I've got. Anybody else got anything?
no, I'm good.
We're adjourned.
I think this Exmark's got a 144-inch one for 76,000.
John Deere's got it.